Hello there, good evening, and thank you for tuning in to Nationwide this Sunday on the NTA. My name is Kenan Ima Abodike. Nigeria has hosted the biggest container vessel from Singapore. The vessel, with length overall of 300 meters, width of 48 meters, was received at the Federal Ocean Terminal in Rivers State. A statement by the Nigerian Port Authority says the berthing of the container vessel in One is part of the federal government's determination to decongest Lagos port by moving commercial activities to other parts of Nigeria. The federal government has rolled out a new method of production, processing and exporting of sesame and hibiscus. Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development Muhammadu Sabo Nanono made this known while interacting with state government officials. Musa Baba Aliyu tells us more.
Nigeria is ranked among the world's largest producers of hibiscus and sesame, though the country is yet to make a significant impact in the global business of the produce. Hibiscus is on high demand, while the business of buying and selling of the herb is fast booming in the country. However, packaging, storage and processing before export have been major challenges. Consequently, Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development Muhammadu Sabo Nanono says as Nigeria seeks for ways to improve our economy, attention will be given to production and export of cash crops. The Model Center for the Production, Processing and Marketing of Hibiscus and Sesame are to be established in Jigawa and Nasarawa states.
And the same thing in sesame seed production. We have taken over being #1 in sesame production, as well as hibiscus flower production. And we are working tirelessly to see that we boost also the production of groundnut in the state. Those are crops those crops we have comparative advantage on, and we are pushing very hard to produce them massively and to increase our competitive advantage in producing them.
Last year, Nigeria exported hibiscus and its byproducts to Europe, Asia and Mexico worth more than $22 million. Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed says the federal government has justified the rationale behind its borrowing from foreign countries. The minister stated this shortly after inspecting the Lagos-Ibadan Standard Gauge Rail project. Anthony Forson reports.
The Information and Culture Minister, Lai Mohammed, who was accompanied by his counterpart, the Minister of Transportation, Rotimi Amechi, began their inspection journey to Ibadan from Abuja Station Building Yard under construction. The Transportation Minister, after interacting with the contractors handling the project, urged them to speed up the job and proceeded to Apapa Dockyard Station, which has been added to the Lagos-Ibadan project as a means of finding a lasting solution to the perennial gridlock that has characterized the area. With 10 passenger stations on the route, Ebute Mega Station, yet to be completed, will have a holding passenger capacity of 6,000 per day. Other stations along the route all have a passenger holding capacity of between 1,005 and 2,000 and are all at various stages of completion, except for the COVID-19 pandemic, which has caused work to slow down.
For those of you who have been following us, you know that for every station, we had 150 to 200 workers. But now you have 10, 20 workers. What we agree with them is to increase the number of workers and manage COVID very well. And what did we agree with them? They should come with their face mask, face shield, and come to work. Because like we also agree with them, it appears, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a scientist, that COVID has come to stay. And government has to run. We have to deliver our promises to the people because that's why we're elected, and that we don't have time. If we just sit in our houses waiting for COVID to end, it may end 2023. So let's hope that by January this thing will be ready.
This notwithstanding, train services on that axis will commence soon.
We will start by middle of September from Yaba to Ibadan, while the other construction finishing will continue. Hopefully by January we will be full-blown.
For Lai Mohammed, the federal government has justified all loans it has collected so far.
We didn't borrow money for services. We did not borrow money for overhead expenditures. We borrowed money for capital projects, rails, roads, bridges, power, generally infrastructure. And this is the first, this administration, of the series of inspections we are going to take along with you, so that you can better enlighten Nigerians that there's nothing bad in borrowing, provided that borrowing is invested in infrastructure. There's nothing bad in borrowing, especially when that borrowing is going to create jobs. We're going to create an enabling environment for the economy.
For now, the Lagos-Ibadan route will start with 24 coaches, one set of diesel multiple unit of 8 coaches, and 2 motor cars for 16 trips a day. 10 coaches for Itakwe to Warri, 4 trips a day. There will also be additional 10 coaches and 1 set of DMU for Abuja Kaduna services. This will move its trip up from 8 to 16 per day. In Ibadan, Anthony Forson, NTA News.
Time now to join Dotun Oguyemi in our Lagos Network Center for a continuation of latest on the impact of Lagos-Ibadan Rail project on trade and other stories making the round. Hello, Dotun.
Thank you, Kene. Business interests have started to spring up around several train stations along the Lagos-Abeokuta-Ibadan axis, which has now become choice location of prospects. The people are eagerly awaiting the project's completion as they have begun to harness opportunity provided by the multi-billion-dollar investment. The desire for an efficient intermodal means of transportation is gradually shaping up as the Lagos-Ibadan Railway is set to commence operations in October. Ifeanyi is a trader at the popular Tejuosho market. The rail line doesn't only connect with the area where he does business, but brings with it a new lease of life.
But this government has tried a lot in terms of transportation and everything. Because with the railway now, we are able to go anywhere we want to go.
Everybody enjoying this work because Agbado is very poor before. If this work come, so everything they okay.
Akeem is one of the rail workers. The experience has not only developed his capacity, but provided meaningful income that sustains him and his family.
Many of us will have handwork. If there's project like this, most of the youth will enjoy, they will benefit. Criminality and terrorism will stop in the country if there's project like this.
Without the project, some of us will have not been able to feed.
Aside passenger service, cargo delivery would also be improved.
We are moving about 300,000 tons, metric tons of cargo between Lagos and the Kano.
Industries like this one, brewing in the horizon, have also been impacted as demand for components like cement, iron, wood, aluminium, glass and tiles has increased. Following months of wide consultations and pragmatic planning, the Lagos State government deemed it apt to lift the ban on gatherings at religious centers, which was instituted to protect congregants from getting infected with COVID-19. Joyken Abakoya examines the new rules that now guide worship and the events of compliance by attendees with the familiar protocols.
This is a glimpse of the general mood of worshippers at the religious centers, 4 months after the restriction left the halls empty as humanity focused on avoiding COVID-19. Though mosques and churches have gleefully reopened their doors to adherents, access comes with qualifications. Basically, worshippers have to cross several hurdles to partake in the spiritual experience. Temperature checks, washing and sanitizing of hands, as well as physical distancing within the hallowed spaces are now prerequisites. And of course, the no mask, no entry policy is in effect.
We will not allow old people, those above 65, we will not allow them, and children below 15.
Whatever precautionary measures they have put in place is for our own good. So we just have to respond and cooperate with the government.
The expansion of personal space for each worshipper has given rise to new traditions. Handshakes and hugs have been displaced by smiles and the wave of the hand. However, the excitement of the faithful about being back where they find spiritual fulfillment outweighs the discomfort of the reigning safety protocols.
It feels so good. It's like a body lifted. It feels very good to be back.
We are happy that the mosque has been reopened, so that at least there is nothing we can do than to pray to Almighty Allah to take all these things away.
The different religions also consider the reopening a signal to pray more fervently for the dark cloud that is the pandemic to give way to sunshine, which is the cure. In Lagos, Joy Ken Abakbuya, NTA News.
Time now to take a break. Nationwide continues shortly.
The Honorable Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Dr. Isa Ali Ibrahim Pantami, invites you to the virtual official rebranding ceremony of NTA on the 17th of August by 11 a.m. This is in line with the National Digital Economy Policy for Digital Nigeria, during which he will unveil the new NTA logo, commission the new digital conferencing facilities and buildings. He will also commission the Integrated Computer Emergency Response and Readiness Center and the Digital Studio for Virtual Learning. These projects are in line with the 3 priorities of President Muhammadu Buhari of security, economic development, and anti-corruption. The Federal Ministry of Communications and Digital Economy and its parastatals are committed to achieving digital economy for digital Nigeria. Announcer, the Director General, National Information Technology Development Agency, NITDA.
NTA TV College Jos, an affiliate of Ahmadu Bello University Zaria, is currently admitting students for its ordinary diploma programs in television journalism, television production, and television engineering. Interested candidates are advised to obtain relevant information concerning eligibility at our website at www.ntatvc.edu.ng or marketing department of any NTA station nationwide. For further information, contact Assistant Director, Marketing, NTA TV College Jos on 0803-314-4383 or the Academic Office of the College on 0806-980-9807. Announcer, Registrar.
She cries. She cries in anguish and in pain. She bears the scourge of her grief. She toils in vain for justice and succumbs to silence. He gloats over his malady. Like a beast, he pounces with no remorse. Her cry means nothing. Her pain feeds her shame. Like an orphan, she's left to grieve in solitude. But no more will she cry in vain. Her adversaries will henceforth bear the brunt of their cruelty. Rape is evil. Rape is a plague, a pandemic of monumental consequences. We must unite and kick it out of our society.
Connect with NTA and stand against rape and rapists. This message is brought to you by the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA.
You can follow us on all our social media platforms: Facebook at NTA Network News, Instagram at NTA Network, Twitter at NTA News Now, YouTube at NTA News Online. Or visit www.nta.ng. For live streaming, visit www.nta.ng/live. Now, you can stay updated on the go, be it on your TV, iPhone, laptop, or iPad. or download the NTA mobile application from your Play Store or App Store. NTA, you can beat the rich.
Thank you for staying with us on Nationwide. President Muhammadu Buhari congratulates former Minister of Commerce and Industry, Senator Jubril Martins-Kuye, on his 80th birthday. The president joins family members, friends and political associates in celebrating the milestone heralded by many years of dedicated service to the nation and humanity, both as minister and legislator. He commends Senator Kuye's consistency in calling for the strengthening of democratic values and promoting good governance that caters for all citizens, especially the less privileged. He also prays that the Almighty God will grant Senator Kuye, who is the Ashiwaju of Agoiwe, good health and long life. As part of preparations towards the forthcoming gubernatorial elections in Edo and Ondo State, as well as efforts by the Police High Command to curb the proliferation of prohibited firearms in the country, the Inspector General of Police, Mohammed Adamu, has ordered commissioners of police in the 36 states and the 5th city to immediately initiate appropriate actions to identify, arrest and prosecute any individual or groups in possession of prohibited firearms. Force Public Relations Officer Frank Mbai, in a statement, says the directive has become necessary against the backdrop of the deliberate arming and movement of political thugs and other criminal elements across the country. The directive is also targeted at addressing the proliferation and unlawful possession of prohibited firearms in the country, contrary to the provisions of the 2004 Firearms Act. The IGP further directs commissioners of police to immediately convene meeting of all vigilante groups and other quasi-security outfits spread across the country and ensure that their activities are in conformity with the extant laws guiding their establishment and operations. He enjoins citizens to cooperate with the police in the enforcement of this order, as it is aimed at ensuring safety of lives and property in the country. Now in politics, the All Progressives Congress has inaugurated the 8th Ondo Governorship Campaign Council. Chairman of the Caretaker and Extraordinary National Convention Committee, May Malabuni, has urged faithful not to engage in unhealthy activities before, during and after the governorship election in Ondo State. Salihu Abdullahi will tell us more.
Renewing the successes of APC in the forthcoming governorship elections in Edo and Ondo State and expanding its scope are top on the agenda of the Mai Malabuni-led Caretaker Committee. This he re-emphasized while inaugurating the 104-member campaign council for the October 10th governorship election in Ondo State, led by the Governor of Lagos State, Babajide Sanwo-Olu. He says the campaign team has one agenda.
I have no doubt in my mind that the rich cream of personalities on this council with vast electioneering experience will once again secure the mandate of the people of Ondo State for the party and its candidates. Let me use this occasion to ensure the good people of Ondo State that your investment in the party in this election will consolidate the achievements recorded in the last 4 years.
Chairman of the campaign council is aware of this task and expressed confidence that with the collective support of all, APC will succeed in Ondo State.
The party's confidence is further buoyed by the giant stride that Governor Akeredolu in different areas of Edo has enumerated.
The party urged its members to engage in fruitful, peaceful and healthy campaigns. In Abuja, Salihu Abdullahi, NTA News.
The Bayelsa State Governorship Election Petition Tribunal sitting in Abuja has affirmed the election of Doyediri as the governor of Bayelsa State and that of his deputy Lawrence Erujabo in the November 2019 governorship election. The three-man panel led by Justice Owoduni dismissed the 3 petitions filed by the Alliance for Democracy, United People's Congress and the Liberation Movement for lacking in merit. The panel ruled that the petitioners failed to provoke the allegations of false declaration of age and forged National Youth Service Corps discharge certificate leveled against the deputy governor.
If not because of the judiciary, the politicians would have since destroyed this country. How can somebody who had 38 votes, when the next person had 700 and something, come to an election tribunal?
These are frivolous cases that even brings to the fore this issue of having multiple parties participating in election, and this is an area that both the courts and the legislature must have to look at.
Tribunal is expected to deliver its judgment on the remaining 2 petitions on Monday, the 17th of this month. Now, Obehi Otoba Presari is standing by in our Benin Network studio for latest from that axis. It's over to you, Obehi.
Hello, Kene. Thank you very much for joining us in Benin. The APC in Edo State has dissociated itself from violent tendencies in the build-up to Edo governorship election. The party also dissociates itself from the mayhem and destruction at Apana, Isako West local government area, ascribing it to the PDP. The standard bearer of the APC, Pastor Sage Izayamu, was reacting to allegations by the PDP. Ogochuka Ona reports.
The Apana incident where gunshots were heard occurred on Thursday, August 14, when the PDP went to campaign in Ward 10. The PDP had earlier accused the APC of masterminding the attack at Apana.
We have no hand in it. The governor and PDP condemns that attack and condemns the APC totally for turning politics to political bitterness and random attack.
The APC exonerates itself from the attack, alleging that thugs working for the PDP masterminded the violent attack.
And we have no hand in the violence that took place. PDP thugs were pursuing villagers only because they are sympathetic to the APC.
It happened in the afternoon, but in the night they came at about 1 a.m. and did some other destruction, shot in my property and shot the properties of a few other APC members in the community.
According to the APC candidate, Pastor Isage Zeyamu, evidence abound both in pictures and eyewitness accounts that PDP carried out the attack.
We don't believe in violence. We want this election and the campaign to be peaceful, especially as it is clear to us that an overwhelming majority of our people are solidly with us.
The APC wants the media and police to investigate the incident, while perpetrators should be brought to book. In Benin, Ogochuka Ona, NTA News.
Meanwhile, opinion leaders in Edo State are urging all stakeholders in the Edo gubernatorial election to give peace a chance before, during, and after the election. Anwuli Okolo reports.
Recent developments in the political scene have created a tense atmosphere which stakeholders have observed, if not checked, is capable of threatening peaceful conduct of the election. Opinion leaders are calling on youths who are mostly influenced by politicians to exercise caution in their dealings with political actors.
So I want to please again appeal to everybody as you go about your campaign, to go about it peacefully, without bitterness. Pray within yourself that God Almighty touch everybody's hearts to be calm.
Edo people, we are a peaceful people. We should conduct ourselves before, during, and after this election peacefully.
There is no way every one of us can belong to one political party. So those you are in party A or party B, discuss your programs you have for the people, not abusing others.
Meanwhile, Catholic leaders in Edo are calling for prayers ahead of the state's 2020 gubernatorial polls. Catholics and Christians from other denominations in the state have been urged to intensify their intercessory prayers for a peaceful gubernatorial election in the state. This was made known in a statement signed by the Catholic Archbishop of the Benin Metropolitan See, Most Reverend Augustine Akubeze. In Benin, Anwuli Okolo, NTA News.
And away from politics, Prayers of thanksgiving and need for God's intervention to end the coronavirus pandemic dominated religious services in Ekiti State as faithful returned to worship centers after 5 months, occasioned by compliance with the COVID-19 protocols. Yemi Delamo reports.
David Adimashaun is a Christian who last attended church service in March. David and other worshippers churches visited in Ado-Ekiti said it is good to be back in the house of God, where the joy of serving God with other believers cannot be compared with the family worship they used to observe during the government directive for faithful to stay away from large congregational service to prevent the spread of coronavirus.
To see the fellow believers and to worship together as a church, I am excited.
So we thank God for everything is over now. We are now back to church.
Clerics in the sermon called on Christians to continue to pray for God's intervention to end the pandemic.
The physical gathering of God's people, having the opportunity of interacting physically with one another, is therapeutic to me.
Mutiu Anyila and Halaji Abubakar Ajibade, who also observed the Jumat service earlier on Friday, expressed joy to see other worshippers coming together. President General League of Imams and Alphas in the Southwest, Edo and Delta State, Alhaji Jamiu Kiwule, called on religious leaders and worshippers to intensify prayers to Almighty Allah. In another development, a philanthropist, Shegun Fadari, distributed personal protective equipment to SS3 students in some local government areas of Ekiti State to aid their safety before, during, and after their examination. In Ado-Ekiti, Yemi Dalimo, NTA News.
And that's it from Benin. It's back to Kene in Abuja for the continuation of Nationwide.
Thank you, Abehi. The Ministry of Labour and Employment has denied allegation of complicity in human trafficking, especially of Nigerian girls to other parts of the world. A statement by the Deputy Director, Press and Public Relations of the Ministry, Charles Abban, says the Ministry has not issued any recruiter's license with respect to the placement of Nigerian citizens abroad in breach of the relevant provisions of the Labour Act Cap L1 2004, and therefore at no time did the federal government issue any moratorium against issuance of recruiter's license. The ministry is challenging anyone making the allegation to produce such moratorium if it exists as part of the strategies to reduce irregular labor migration whilst promoting regular migration. The ministry has put in place a labor migration desk to address the associated problems with the movement of skilled and low-skilled persons within and outside the country. The desk seeks to ensure and create employment opportunities for Nigerians to work legally abroad without fear of molestation, exploitation, or any form of inhuman treatment or being subjected to unfair labor practices. The Ministry of Labour and Employment is guided by the provisions of the International Labour Organization ILO Migration for Employment Convention number 97, Private Employment Agencies Convention number 181, and its recommendation number 188, and has taken initial steps required for its ratification. Now, money and material possessions are fast becoming parameters for measuring success among some Nigerians. The celebration of questionable wealth and the near erosion of societal values can be disheartening. Then, the role model tag placed on some Nigerians allegedly involved in cyber crimes negatively impacts on the image and corporate identity of Nigeria, especially the youth population. Vera Chingoba in this report raises some issues on the opulent display of wealth on social media and livelihood by some alleged internet fraudsters. Vera also examines the effectiveness of cybercrime law in Nigeria.
Activities of these fraudsters leave victims with huge financial losses. The influence being wielded by the action of these fraudsters points to the erosion of societal values of hard work, excellence, and dignity in labor.
We just need to rework the value system. Parents need to speak more to their children about the need for honest, hard, and smart work. People need to be told that any money you do not earn is actually stolen money, and that it's actually a matter of time, before the law and the society catches up with you.
But the action of these few Nigerians should not be used to judge or stereotype the thousands of Nigerians that are, millions of Nigerians actually, that are doing great things all over the world. However, we also need to look at our moral values as a society. What matters to us?
The Cybercrime Act of 2015 criminalizes a variety of offenses.
The timeline, the downtime between when the offense is committed, when the report gets to the security agencies, and when they deploy to the scene of crime or the devices of crime, bearing in mind that these devices are largely mobile. So the pace at which the response comes is also part of why prosecution is also slow. So it is important that, one, we increase the workforce in that direction. Two, we also improve the technological devices available to our men.
Because cybercrime is a borderless crime, you must cooperate at the international level. And for us, our most potent tool is actually our cybercrime unit, which is domiciled with our Interpol.
Combating cyber crimes entail that intelligence officers are acquainted with technologies that power cyber crimes and seeking international collaboration, since the syndicates are international in nature.
Genuine online transaction or dealings, no doubt in this technological era, have to a large extent enhanced the socio-economic and political landscape of the society. However, this is not without some challenges. Point of sales, otherwise known as POS business, is one of the very few of these modern-day technology complementing the services of automated teller machines (ATM) for withdrawal of money. Operators and users of POS share their experiences amidst the emergence of COVID-19 pandemic, while other businesses were folding up. Calvin Samuel in this report takes us through. Now take a look.
The 24th century, which is considered to be a digital age, has numerous inventions to its credit, most of which are aimed at making life better by enhancing delivery of goods and services in a way that saves time and energy. One of such inventions can be seen in the financial sector, where point-of-sale systems, popularly known as POS, are used in carrying out several financial transactions. This method of transaction, which is unarguably taking many youths off the street, is gradually dominating other forms of banking as business operators now find it more convenient and time-saving.
Very, very good. Farmers, they like it. Traders, they like it. Businessmen, they like it.
In the lockdown, we find it so difficult to enter bank. Then we just get in here and get our money.
The advantage is you can collect money wherever you are.
Emmanuel Effiong, a POS merchant with several years of experience, gives an insight to this 24th century business.
Transaction is decline. Like now we have transaction decline. Like on this, you as a spin, there are some that will show you pin tries exceeded or other things. So, but when such issues come up, personally, I do throw it up to the company that I'm using.
The people are optimistic that if properly regulated to ensure adequate security and funding, the POS business can gainfully employ more youths, even in the rural communities where the services of POS are mostly needed. In Uyo, Kevin Samuel, NTA News.
FCT Emergency Management Agency FEMA has called on people residing, farming or carrying out any form of activity on waterways across the territory to, as a matter of emergency, vacate such locations and relocate to higher grounds in view of the threat of flood as predicted by hydrological services. The call was made at its second annual review and preparedness meeting with divers, vanguards and flood rescue teams in Abuja. Eliasu Yakubu tells us more.
It is day 2, and this time attention is shifted to Amak, Buari and Kuje, with specific focus on the city center. Loko Goma and Galadima readily comes to mind in this situation, as memory will not easily forget the tragic loss of an FCT High Court director and a host of others to unfortunate flood disasters during last year's rains and the years before. The target of the review is to inundate these volunteers on prompt response to emergency disaster situations and the latest techniques in search and rescue operations. An initiative the volunteer divers say has broadened their horizons.
They say when you are not informed, you are deformed. So the information is key. If you know that where you are, where you build your house is not safe during flooding, you are to take a proper measure.
To make us to be alert so that in case of anything, then we'll come, because our duty is to save lives and properties.
When we get back to the community, we are going to sensitize our own community. We are going to sensitize them through the palace, we are going to sensitize them through the youth, we are going to sensitize them through all the various organizations we have within the community.
FEMA says the facility maintenance, development control, and other relevant departments of the FCDA has commenced the desilting of sewers and other water hosting channels in the territory, which will be sustained until the rains recedes. To achieve the target objectives, the meeting concludes that residents have vital roles to play, especially with regards to humanity's negative attitude towards the environment, which is part of the messages they are taking back home as environmental vanguards. In Abuja, Eliasu Onutu Yakubu, NTA News.
Kaduna Center is our last port of call on Nationwide today. Hello, Amina, it's over to you.
Welcome to Kaduna. In furtherance of its economic empowerment drive, the Future Assured initiative of the wife of the President, Aisha Muhammadu Buhari, has supported youths in Kano State with water pumping machines to boost agricultural production. Awal Salisu reports that the beneficiaries are drawn from the 44 local government areas of the state.
The program is in line with the federal government's effort to diversify the economy through agriculture. It is also to encourage youth to be self-reliant and achieve self-sufficiency in food production. The 100 beneficiaries were selected from across the 44 local government areas of Kano State.
Well, my call to the farmers is to be truthful, to make sure they use their machines and not to go and sell them or to keep them. And by using the machines, we are going to help through economic empowerment, and it will improve their income.
For the farmers, it will never be the same again, as they are confident that the working tool will no doubt boost their morale and enhance productivity. They however call for the expansion of the gesture to more farmers to achieve desired results. In Kano, Awal Salisu, NTA News.
Katsina State Police Command has apprehended 2 suspected cattle rustlers and recovered 12 cows in Sabo local government area of Katsina State. Abdul Malik Hassan reports that the cows were rustled from Ungwan Nachibi in Birningwari local government area of Kaduna State.
Birningwari local government area of Kaduna State is one of the frontline areas in the northwest faced with banditry and cattle rustling, the activity that necessitated government at all levels put in stringent measures to addressing the insecurity. In view of this, Katsina State Police Command apprehended the 2 suspects alleged to have rustled cows from Ungwar Nachibi of Birningwari local government area to Sabwa local government area of Katsina State, where they were to sell off the cattle.
In the course of our investigation, suspect confessed to be members that specialize in buying and selling cows that were rustled from bandits in the forest of Rugu and Birningwari.
One of the alleged suspects interviewed says he has been in the business for the past 12 years. However, circumstance made him engage in such act.
Those we buy from are fully armed with guns. Although I was once a cattle rearer before I ventured into this business.
Also, the command apprehended a suspected human trafficker alleged to have been trafficking people across the state border to other countries.
The syndicate specializes in conveying their victims on motorcycles across the Nigerian border into Niger Republic for onward trafficking to Libya and some part of Europe.
SP Gambo Isa further said the command is making effort to contact Interpol to apprehend those in connection to the heinous act. In Kazina, Abdul Malik Hassan, NTA News.
And that's it from Kaduna. It's back to Kene in Abuja.
Thank you so much, Amina. Now, the Nigerian Center for Disease Control, NCDC, has announced 325 new confirmed cases of COVID-19 in Nigeria. The latest figures spikes up the total number of confirmed cases to 48,770 in the country. State-by-state case charts of the new confirmed cases from 19 states and the FCT indicates that Lagos recorded the highest number with 87 new cases. FCT came next with 49. Gombe recorded 28 new cases, Ebonyi 20, Plateau 19, Kwara 18, Enugu 17, Imo and Rivers recorded 12 new cases each. Others are Kaduna 11, Ogun 10, Edo and Oyo 9 cases each, while Ondo and Oshun had 8 new cases. The day's tally is completed by Ekiti with 4 new cases. Borno, Kano, Bauchi and Nasarawa all recorded 1 case each. With the latest development, total number of confirmed cases stands at 48,770, while 36,290 cases have been successfully treated and discharged. 974 patients have so far died, unfortunately. The African Union is promoting intra-trade among its members to further boost economic activities crop up by COVID-19. Albert Muchanga, the African Union's Commissioner for Trade and Industry, says the collapse in foreign direct investment to African economies during the pandemic necessitates the need for intra-African trade. He says it will take some time before foreign direct investment starts flowing back in full force to the continent. Rather than wait for that foreign capital to return, Muchanga says African economics should drive growth by focusing on domestic production and intra-African trade. In its quest to ensure the safety of students ahead of commencement of WAEC examinations, the Imo State government has inspected facilities in some schools in the state to ensure compliance with COVID-19 rules. Correspondent Obiano Jimosu has details.
The visit to schools is in line with Imo State government's commitment to the safety of students in external examination classes. The Commissioner for Education, Professor Bernard Ikegwoha, was particular about availability of sufficient hand-washing points, compliance on the use of face masks, sanitary condition of the schools, as well as provision of hand sanitizers.
The readiness of most of the schools visited tells me that there is hope for the education sector in Imo State.
And the students are putting on the nose mask, social distancing. These are the ones we've seen. Since we came, we've not rested. Both the teachers and the non-teaching staff were all working together. The president of the foundation sent us infrared thermometer, which we have by the time you come in, where every student is tested, the hand washing, everything is observed.
Each teacher is assigned to 20 students. So that that teacher that is taking care of 20 students will ensure that they make use of their hand sanitizer, make sure that they wash their hands.
With adequate facilities already in place, the students say they are ready to comply with the laid down rules, just as they are also prepared for the examination.
Most of the topics that we're supposed to cover that the pandemic could not allow us to cover at school, we cover them online. So we've done the revisions.
From the things that our teachers have been doing for us, the classes, the lectures, the practicals, I'm sure and confident that I will make my parents and my school proud.
The external examination for SS3 students is expected to commence on Monday, August 17th, 2020. In Owerri, Obiano Junwosu, NTA News.
The emergence of coronavirus pandemic has forced some healthcare facilities to function below capacity, making access to healthcare for many Nigerians a challenge. In this report, Sagir Mohammed Awal examines challenges faced by patients with some life-threatening ailments, especially in accessing tertiary healthcare at the Ahmadu Bello University Teaching Hospital, Sheka, Zaria.
The emergence of COVID-19 and its consequences have left patients with some life-threatening ailments with series of challenges in assessing medical help due to fears, worries and anxiety among patients and health workers. As the federal government intensifies awareness on the pandemic, Nigerians have begun to adopt measures on how to live with the new normal following medical advice. Healthcare facilities such as the Ahmadu Bello University Teaching Hospital Shikazaria that had scaled down operations have now opened their doors to patients in need of medical services.
We had to scale down our services to about 50%. But when we are now clear about the protocols that NCDC and WHO is giving us, we have now scaled our services to 100% in the hospital. So any patient that comes into the hospital is welcome and is provided services.
The ABU Teaching Hospital has put in place preventive and control measures to protect health workers and patients against coronavirus.
Now, it is good for the public to know that hospital services have resumed fully, and in as much as there is ongoing community transmission, we also in the hospital are also very careful by applying all our infection prevention and control measures.
Every person that is sick, you need to run to come to the hospital and learn his complaint and get medicine for himself.
It is believed that with sustained awareness, those with health issues would no longer hesitate to visit the hospital, as all hands are on deck to ensure their safety. In Zaria, I'm Sagir Muhammad Awal, NTA News.
President Muhammadu Buhari has sent warm felicitations to former military President General Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida on his 79th birthday, August 17, 2020. The president joins family, friends and associates to celebrate with the elder statesman. As the former military leader turns a new age, the president believes his services to the country will always be remembered. He prays that the Almighty God will continually strengthen General Babangida, grant him good health and longer life. More reports on COVID-19 after this break. Don't go away.
ICPC and NTA say you can help Nigeria to flatten the curve on COVID-19, just as you can help flatten the curve on corruption. Follow transparency, accountability, and integrity just as you follow health guidelines. Stay home with integrity and maintain your distance from corruption, just as you stay away from COVID-19 by maintaining social distance. Report every act of corruption to ICPC just as you report COVID-19 to NCDC. Stay away from corruption, stay safe from COVID-19. Report any act of corruption to ICPC on toll-free number 0800-2255-4272. This message is brought to you by ICPC and NTA.
Welcome back. Our students and candidates for WAEC look up to 17th of this month to start examining themselves. Parents advocate strict adherence to the safety protocols to curb the spread of coronavirus among the children. Oduake team quotes the parents as saying that they have done their best by providing needed preventive materials while discharging the students for preparatory classes.
In spite of the containment measures put in place by health authorities and government, as well as guidelines for schools to follow in order to protect the students and teachers from being infected by coronavirus, parents in Akwa Ibom State say they are still in fear and called on school authorities to enforce the precautionary measures on the students and even teachers to curb further spread of the virus.
Yeah, since I've left their domestic environment, I've left the home and are here in the school, I'm very, very afraid whether they will abide by the guidelines provided in the school.
If our children will comply with the instruction of the teachers concerning COVID-19, I think the spread will reduce.
With the nature of community transmission of the virus and the fact that no vaccine or specific treatment is available for COVID-19, prevention is the only substantial and less expensive option, and parents say basic hygienic practices in schools and strict adherence to the safety protocols should be observed.
That any student who fails to abide by this measure should be disciplined. The school should not allow the students to crowd at one place. They should make sure that they maintain social and physical distancing while in the school as well as in the classroom.
Any student that doesn't come in with his or her face mask should be punished or sent back home.
Parents, however, enjoined school authorities to discipline students who disobey the safety rules, while also advising the students to report any person exhibiting symptoms suspected to be of COVID-19 for prompt action. In Uyo, Udwak Etam, NTA News.
And while Nigerians join the global community to fight COVID-19, people living with other life-threatening ailments in Gombe State appear to have found a solution to the challenges of the routine medical services brought about by the pandemic. Zara Umar Adamu completes the story.
The coronavirus pandemic has absorbed the focus of all health agencies, leaving many people suffering from life-threatening diseases facing disruptions due to reduction in hospital attendance and access to services. The experience of patients with some life-threatening ailments was better imagined due to the disruption of routine essential services resulting from prioritization of COVID-19 response.
It was not an easy thing. We have been coming from time to time. You will come here and see an empty space. And even the medication that I was prescribed got finished. At times I will have to go back and look for the old prescription notes to buy the drugs.
Twice I couldn't see the doctor. It's been almost a year. I have not seen the doctor. I added 6 months to my booking. I had to beg for me to see the doctor. However, with adjustments, gradual strategic reopening of specialty clinics, as well as compliance with prevention guidelines of the coronavirus, among other measures, healthcare facilities in Gombe State have continued the provision of quality and equitable access to essential services.
For all emergency cases, we have not closed. That is what we did. And that is even what made us to actually understand the whole situation clearly. Because we have been attending even the cases that are being suspected to be COVID.
We were using the specialty clinic as a window to screen. That will increase detection and will surely go a long way in reducing the spread of the infection.
Access to comprehensive quality healthcare services is important for promoting and maintaining health. Zara Omaradum, NTA News.
Zamfara State government is to collaborate with the Nigerian Meteorological Agency to, among other things, establish an automated weather observatory station in each of the 3 senatorial districts of the state. To this end, a delegation from the NIMET headquarters, Abuja, was in the state preparatory to the effective formalization of the collaboration. Haliru Muhammad Umar has more.
The delegation of officials from the Nigeria Meteorological Agency was in Zamfara State preparatory to the signing of a memorandum of understanding between the NIMET and the Zamfara State government on effective gathering and dissemination of accurate reports on weather and climate for rapid development of various sectors of the state economy. Establishment of an automated weather observatory station in each of the 3 senatorial districts of Zamfara State is top on the terms of the collaboration. The NIMET officials were at Kauran Namoda, Maradun and Gusau towns representing northern, western and central senatorial districts of the state respectively to assess the suitability of the sites for the proposed projects.
The locations that we saw, they are okay, subject to what our engineers will say when they finally come.
Improving the agricultural sector of Zamfara State is an integral aspect of the partnership. Hence, the delegation was at the Bakalori irrigation project in Talata Mafara local government area of the state.
If you are a local farmer here, you can know the onset of the rainy season. You can be able to know the length of the growing season, of your cropping season. You can even know the cessation date. You can know the forecast.
The government is very committed because His Excellency the Executive Governor already has graced our prayers. This is more than 3 months he gave us go ahead to invite this agency.
High point of the NIMET's official visit to Zamfara State was the conduct of a sensitization workshop on mitigating the effect of weather and climate change for water resource and disaster managers as well as agri-extension workers in the state. In Gusau, Halil Muhammad Umar, NTA News.
And that report from Gusau concludes today's Nationwide on the NTA. Many thanks indeed for watching. My name is Kenan Ima Aborike. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.